All right, everybody, welcome to A-Town Rundown. We're back. We had a short little absence. Sorry about that. We won't let it happen again. Some things been going on. Atlanta's been looking like a real sports town lately, especially when you look at the Dream, you look at the Braves. And speaking of the Dream, let's start off the hour with them because the Dream right now, they are 6-2. They are first in the Eastern Conference, and they are the second overall team in the WNBA. Doesn't get much better than that. If you want to look at some stats right now, they've won 4 of their last 5 games. Ryan Howard is averaging 19.3 points per game. She had a season high of 36 points on their June 2nd victory. Angel Reese is averaging a double-double, and she also passed her 1,000th career point, which is amazing. Then you got Jordan Canada, who averages 6.9 points per game, or assists per game, and she clocked a 10 assist double-double. So our girls are doing great. That's amazing. I will say, I know that it's been all over Sports Center, and I know you and I talked about it. They played Connecticut last night, and it looked like Brittany Griner kind of had a point to prove the way she just slammed Angel Reese to the ground like that. That was pretty nasty. I will say Angel Reese held her composure. She did it right. She was very professional about it, and all she did was go out after that and win the game. But, man, what a flagrant foul from Brittany Griner. That was kind of nasty.
Yeah, I wonder what that was all about. I mean, is it, Angel Reese is the rising star in the league and people don't really talk about Brittany that much anymore? Is it because Brittany was with the Dream and then as soon as we get Angel Reese, she's out of here?
I think it does have something to do with that because if you remember when we acquired Reese, they were like promo pictures and everything, like Brittany Griner and Angel Reese. People were talking about it. And then I even talked about it on here because it didn't dawn on me that they had traded her away to Connecticut. And then as soon as we play them, Brittany, it's almost like she meant to send a message the way she tied up with Angel Reese and like damn near choke slammed her to the ground. You know what I mean?
And she's still, I know Angel Reese is big, but like Brittany Griner
Brittany Griner was like towering over her. Like I did not realize how big Brittany Griner was until I saw what she did to Angel Reese.
No, she's like NBA big.
Yeah, she's huge. She's
for real.
But I mean, on top of that, I mean, the numbers don't lie though. So like you can be as mad, you can be as aggressive as you want. They're still the best team in the East. However, there is a big matchup coming up tomorrow where the Atlanta Dream play none other than the Indiana Fever with Caitlin Clark. So that's a game to watch. They're playing in Indiana. If you have a way to watch the WNBA, please, by all means, watch our girls take on the Indiana Fever. I personally haven't found a way to watch the WNBA yet legally.
Why are they making it so hard?
I don't know why they're making it so hard, but I would love to watch this game. Hopefully there's some national coverage of it because, you got Caitlin Clark. You got a big name. You got Caitlin Clark taking on Angel Reese. This is primetime WNBA.
I imagine.
So there's got to be a way to watch it.
And there's no NBA Finals tomorrow. No. Tomorrow's Thursday, by the way, just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
When we say tomorrow,
so this could be today. You could be listening to it.
You could be listening to this on Thursday. I mean, I don't know why. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me when you're trying to grow a league like the WNBA, which, by the way, has grown a lot over the last 2 years since Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark showed up. But why make it hard to watch? Like, why make it hard to find it? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
If you really want it to grow, it needs to be accessible, which is just like we talked about it, on our last podcast. Something that was so great about, Ted Turner's business model was let's put the Braves on free TV.
Let's make it easy to watch.
So I feel like, I mean, there's still some free stations in Atlanta. I'm sure like there's still the CW and stuff like why don't the Dream just play on the CW or something? Like make it accessible.
That would be great. Yeah.
Because you're trying to garner new fans, but in doing so, you're putting up a paywall for them to watch the games, and it doesn't work like that.
It can work for Major League Baseball, like Braves are doing it with Braves Vision. It can work for that. That's a team that's been around, that's been in Atlanta, for 60 years.
Yeah, 1966, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, that one makes a little more sense to me, but for something that you're trying to grow.
Well, let me be clear. None of it makes sense to me. If you live in a city, you should be able to watch the team that represents your city for free, no matter what. And that's personally what I would believe in. But I do get what you're saying. Like when it comes to the MLB, if we're gonna do paywalls, if we're gonna do subscriptions, at least it makes sense to do it to that.
They're probably not losing money doing that.
Exactly.
But like the WNBA, it's like you need to get that fan base first. Like, and there's a lot of people that that love basketball, and like some of my homies that I played basketball with, like they'll ask me what's going on with the WNBA, but I'm sure they would be watching some of these games if it was easy to get.
Yes, and that's the thing. Like I love women's sports. I love women's college basketball. I love softball.
Yeah.
I watch that, and it's accessible. Like, why is it that Georgia Tech, the Lady Jackets, are easier to watch on TV than the Atlanta Dream? You know what I'm saying? It should.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, our pro
way.
team should be. Yeah, exactly. Our pro team should be easy to find. But anyways, shout out to the Dream. I'm glad they've had such a hot start to the season. Let's keep it going. I mean, when we got Angel Reese and we started looking at the roster before the season started, it was, we got to get to a conference final or better.
We knew what we were
possibly
doing.
Bring a championship home,
especially with the way they're winning. I will say their one loss in the past 5 games was against Minnesota, which is in their season opener, the team they beat by 1 point. So Minnesota could be something to look out for, because it seems like that's the only team they're really having trouble with right now.
Yeah.
But dude, speaking of Georgia Tech, you saw the heartbreak. Georgia Tech
heartbreak, man.
Georgia Tech baseball has been eliminated
after a 50-win season, and in heartbreaking fashion, Oklahoma comes back and beats them at the end in Atlanta. I mean, that was rough, man. And Dogs are still in it.
They had that game too, man. They really did. It was in the 10th inning. Everything just fell apart as baseball goes. It takes 2 things to fall apart. It takes pitching and batting. As soon as those fall apart, you're done. You're done. And baseball is a hard game to recover from once you're behind. It is. Like, if the other team starts rallying and their bats gets hot and their pitcher just finds the zone, it is a hard game to overcome, And
I think what happened is that we brought a guy out who had pitched the day before, and it wasn't the right move.
Yeah. You don't see that happen in the MLB. Why are we doing it there?
No, you do see it in the MLB sometimes, but it's just like this kid had pitched. I think he had done multiple innings. Like, he may have started a game already, and it just ended up not being the right move. But a lot of great players on there. Hopefully they stick around for another year before they move on to the pros.
But this is one of those things, Tech, like, so you know us as Tech fans. It's like when we do anything of high regard, it's just like, yeah, you know what? That's a win for us. Like Georgia Tech baseball making it as far as they did. Yeah, that's a win for Tech. Like, good job, boys. Hopefully you make it a little further next season. But ultimately very proud of how the season went. Yeah,
and every SEC team seems like is killing it. They're all like in the super regional right now. So
I'll be shocked if the SEC doesn't win the World Series.
Right.
But I will say you still got to look out for the West Coast. I mean, like UCLA and stuff. You really got to be on your guard. But speaking of baseball, moving along, let's talk about the Braves, who, if we want to check the score right now, it is in the top of the 9th, or nope, bottom of the 9th, final. Game over. Braves win 7-3.
Bottom of the 9th. Yeah, ain't no bottom of the 9th.
Braves win 7-3 against Toronto. So if we want to talk about that,
win.
Yeah, another series win. If you want to talk about that, the last loss we had was a 6-4 road loss against the Cincinnati Reds. But while we were doing that, despite that, the Braves still hold the best overall record in baseball at 41-20. Now it's 42-20, 43-20 after this win.
I think they're 42 wins now.
42 wins, and then who came to life in the past 5 games? It was none other than a guy we were mildly dogging but wanting a little bit more from. His name is Ronald Acuna Jr., and I think he must have heard us, because all of a sudden he goes on a complete tear against Cincinnati Reds, dude.
Yeah, no, I mean, so yeah, he had
5 home runs in 4 games. Yes,
and it started on Thursday night. So he had a hell of a weekend, and I think since he came back from this injury, he's something I talked about on past episodes, how he had changed his batting stance a little bit, to where he was kind of like he had his front leg or his back leg kind of forward and kind of separating his legs a little bit more. Whereas now he's kind of, you can look at pictures of him at the plate in 2023 when he won the MVP, where his legs are kind of lined up with each other.
Right.
Well, he's moved back to that, and sure enough,
and then it works.
Yeah,
dude. Not only that, on the game on May 31st, where he hit a home run off of the very first pitch in the game. It was a 400,
which we've seen him do a lot.
438-foot bomb that he hit. Like that takes a lot of power. And so you're sitting here talking about the adjustment of the batting stance and everything. Every bit of that goes into the power of your swing. And when you can smash a 430-yard bomb like that, maybe he understands that he has to go back to the fundamentals. But do you think it was a little bit of having to work around his injury and having to like get his hips to swing back to normal?
Possibly, yeah. I think the injury has something to do with it. Then he had that weird hand injury that happened in Miami.
And then he had a hamstring earlier this year too, right?
Yeah. And so I think we're seeing him now kind of get back to the player that we know. Let's see how long he can stay hot. I know that in the first game of this Toronto series, he didn't have a single hit, but then tonight he hit a double where he just placed it right inside the foul line, bounced into the stands, and then he ends up stealing a bag after that. So,
dude, speaking of tonight,
when you're seeing, I want to say about Ronald real quick. When you're seeing him, not only is he doing well at the plate, but you're seeing him, he's having fun, like out on the bases and
dude,
goofing
he's back
a little
to
bit.
Old Ronnie, dude.
And he's stealing bags like that. Like, that's when you know that he's back, like feeling good.
Yeah, and
and I think that's the main factor is like he's feeling good about himself, and I think when he does that, like he becomes, one of the best players in baseball, if not the best.
Dude, the stolen bags are something I wanted to touch on. But before I did that, I wanted to touch on tonight. Another guy we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, especially with his contract and everything, Ozzie Albies. And then what did he go out and do tonight,
Yeah, he smashed a homer and gave us a nice lead, 3-run homer. And Ozzie over the last month, he had a nice start to the season, but over the last month he kind of cooled off a little bit where he hasn't fallen on his face or anything, but I think that like in almost like 30 days, he had like one extra base hit.
Yeah.
He was hitting singles. He's getting on base, and that's good. Like, but that's fine.
That's the slump that we're talking about, Like, it's just, I mean, dude, we're not even in July yet. It's early June baseball. Like, you're going to see these things happen, and then luckily, everything we talked about in our last episode is starting to turn around. We were like, man, we want to see these guys light up by August. We want to see this. Like, if we get to July and these things aren't turning around, we're going to be really worried. Well, here we are, the first week of June, and everything we touched on in our last episode is starting to turn around in a positive way,
Yeah, definitely. And Austin Riley is a guy that we talked about. He's got the the biggest Braves contract in history. He still is looking very frustrated. He's still not looking like the Austin Riley that we kind of wanted to see this season. But I heard something interesting the other day or today, and I got to shout out Hammer Territory podcast, great Braves podcast. Listen to them after you listen to us. They'll give you all the stats and stuff, whereas we're going to give
only
you
afterwards. And if you can only listen, if you can only listen to one in a day, like if you only have enough time for one, make sure it's us.
You can only choose one. But anyways, they were saying like after I think it was June 13th. Through like the end of July, Austin Riley is the number one baseball player during those dates throughout his career. So go ahead and mark a calendar.
Like a week and a half.
Yeah, we got like a week and a half. Yeah, and let's see what he's doing because that's when he's earning that contract. At least that's when he's like earned it in the past. Is during that stretch. I don't know what it is about that time, but like. One of the things we've been talking about with this team is like when one guy's down, another guy's getting hot.
Well, no, dude,
and that's won a lot of series for us so far this year.
And I truly think that's how within the past couple of years, the Braves, specifically the Braves of the past 5 years, earned the nickname the Boys of Summer. There is something about when summer hits, the Atlanta Braves come to life, and it may wear out, by fall and autumn, because sometimes we don't make it to the playoffs. Sometimes we're not hot in the playoffs, but there is something about summertime with the Braves where they just explode.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, again, I think the very like promising thing when you look under the hood with this team is like, it isn't just one guy. It's not two guys. It's a new guy, like every, 10 days, Ronald will carry us for, 5 games. And then
Olsen.
Then Olsen, Olsen last night won that game for us against the Blue Jays in a weird game where the way that the wind was blowing in that park where, the home run, the go-ahead home run that Olsen hit was, to me, off his bat, I thought was a pop-up. And and it went, I think it was like the highest hit ball like this season. But dude, it went all the way to the moon and dropped in right in the front grass in front of the chop house. So, it counts. We'll take it. But I think the look on his face, he was like, "Uh-oh, I popped that one up. I'd like to see that pitch again."
Pop-up, but like, I mean, once again, dude, baseball. You know, I don't know
baseball,
what else to
baby.
tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the wind can be your friend, the wind can be your worst enemy. That was all wind. That was all wind.
Yeah,
baby.
and there was even one that went again, that a home run for Toronto off of Bryce Elder that kind of got pushed out by the wind as well. So Bryce Elder's another guy I want to talk about. He's kind of cooled off a little bit over the last couple of weeks. Still, winning his starts, not all of them, but winning his starts. Last night, Monday night, Tuesday night, he was really good. And I think he pitched 6 2/3 innings, and then you bring in Robert Suarez to get you 4 outs, and then they bring in Raisel Iglesias to close out the game. Raisel Iglesias, though, is another one where it's like, like his pitches are starting to find the bat, and it's scary, especially in a 1-run game, but still been able to get it done. Still no blown saves so far this season. The bullpen has been great, and I think Walt Weiss's management of, where, it looks like Bryce Elder's kind of getting slapped around a little bit, but we need to save that bullpen. Can we get away with just bringing out our 2 best horses at the end of the game and saving everybody else for tonight was Grant Holmes. And what we've been doing with Grant Holmes is once he gets through the batting order one time, and this is usually around the 3rd or 4th inning, guys start hitting him.
Right.
And so he's not really making it past. Yes. He's not really making it past the 5th inning a lot. So what they've been doing is,
and you just want that Kenny Powers guy to, stay true, keep winning.
Exactly. But... Yes. I want to see Kenny Powers up there. All right. I am the real American.
Yes.
Anyways, shout out Kenny Powers. But what they're doing is when Grant Holmes starts getting slapped around, like in that 4th or 5th inning, is they pull him quickly. He's kind of got a short leash, and they bring out Didier Fuentes.
But I don't think that short leash. I don't think that short leash. I think, to your credit, like, yes, that is what helps us with those wins. Like, absolutely. Yeah. I think they understand it, and I think there's been definitely scenarios in Braves games in the past where we give those short leash guys too long of one, and that's how we end up not in the playoffs. That's how we end up not winning the games we should.
And Walt Weiss is very smart about it. Like he let Bryce Elder stay out there a little bit longer. Like I probably would have pulled Bryce Elder for that 6th inning, but Walt Weiss was like, you know what? I'm going to, and I think he even said this in an interview, is like, because the rule is that every pitcher has to see 3 batters, at least 3 batters.
Yes.
Right. So if he brings out Kinley, let's say in the 6th instead of Bryce Elder, it's like, and he's not feeling good. And we used a lot of pitchers like over the weekend, and I know they had the day off on Monday. If they did that, then all of a sudden it's like you're kind of stuck with this guy until he sees 3 batters, and it's a 1-run game. But if you let Bryce Elder stay out there until he sees a little bit of trouble, then you can go to Suarez, and who can get you more than 3 outs. You don't want to ask him to get you 6. But you ask him to get 4, that's doable. And then bring out Raisel Iglesias for his 9th inning. And the way that I saw that strategy from last night and looking ahead to Wednesday night's game, Wednesday night's game. I'm trying to figure out what day it is, like, for the people. And then I don't want to say tonight's game or whatever. So tonight's Wednesday night. But anyways, Wednesday night's game was, you got to make sure that you have that bullpen to come in after Grant Holmes, because you don't have the most confidence in him.
Right.
He's been fine. And honestly, everybody in this rotation has been fine. Martin Perez has been one that's been a surprise for me. Now, he seems to have this thing where the first 2 innings, he might give up a couple runs, but he kind of locks in. And he'll be out there in the 6th, or let's say into the 5th, where, like, I didn't expect him. I thought he was just going to be like an extra arm that we needed because we had all these injuries from spring training. But it turns out, like, I think he's going to keep starting. And then what happens with Reynaldo Lopez, like, having to move him to the bullpen, like, Martin Perez has kind of been a godsend for us. And, nobody had Bryce Elder being this good on his bingo card. I know he's cooling off a little bit.
I sure didn't.
No,
not at all.
I didn't.
I thought we were getting the Bryce Elder.
Yeah, I'm on record saying that this does not look good. But I do wonder with this rotation, like, because Strider he's got the stuff, but his fastball's not fastballing the way it used to.
It's not, and I feel like he needs to add more to his artillery because, like, dude, it's getting to the point where you've had the surgeries, you've had the injuries. Let's stop relying on the fastball. Let's see what else you can do, because also, like, it's gotten to the point where, like, no offense, your fastball has become hittable. It has. Like,
it has. Yeah,
you've been able to bail yourself out of games. You've been able to secure wins, but like, you're not throwing the 103 mile an hour heater anymore. You're not. That was good for his season, but there's no longevity in that.
Well, it's crazy because he's still getting the strikeout numbers.
He's still getting the strikeout numbers. He is, but also, and this is why I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm not trying to throw shade, but it's just like, it's one of those things. Like, he's either going to strike you out or you're going to hit a home run off of him. There's almost no.
That's what worries me, is that it does seem like home runs.
Because I think he throws his pitches often in the same spot every time. It's either a very obvious ball or it's a down the middle strike. You know what I'm saying? And if a batter finds their timing,
I agree with that somewhat, but I also kind of think, you know, he's just got to settle in a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But I'm just not like. My confidence level in him being like that for sure number 2 starter is kind of, I don't know. And, you know, I want to ask you this. I mean, like, if the playoffs started today, obviously Chris Sale comes out for game 1.
Obviously Chris Sale.
Who comes out for game 2?
Chris Sale. I would do Elder for 2 and Strider for 3.
I'm kind of leaning that way right now too. Mm-hmm. Now, you know, if you get Schwellenbach back, which I think we will.
I don't know what the outlook on him is. I feel like he's supposed to be coming back soon, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know if it's soon. I think that him and Hurston Waldrop, I think they both started rehab assignments, but I mean, like, we're talking like 2 innings. Okay. You know, nothing crazy yet. I think they're ramping them up now.
Yeah.
But I do think that if we get those guys back, and if they can come in and prove to be, you know, well, not Hurston Waldrop, but specifically Spencer Schwellenbach, like, if he could come back and be our number 2,
but now here's great. The thing too, like,
you got those 2, and then Elder and Strider. It's like, yeah, we can.
But my thing is, are we in a weird spot now where we almost think we can get a win from Elder easier than we can get one from Strider, or do you still put Strider over Elder?
So that's kind of where I'm at, man. It's like, I'm not really comfortable saying that yet.
Yes, I understand.
Now, I think what we've seen so far this season, you'd probably say that. But do we really believe Bryce Elder's going to stay this way?
No, I don't, because this is about the time
just over the last like 3 starts. You know?
Yeah, this is about the time you start to see Bryce Elder's decline, and hopefully we don't revert to the Bryce Elder we had last year. Because then, I mean, you think about it, you got Chris Sale, Grant Holmes, and Spencer Strider. You know, and we were just talking about how
Grant Holmes is kind of. I don't think he's going to. I think he's kind of. Him and Martin Perez are probably the first 2 to leave this rotation.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But what do we do in the meantime? You know what I'm saying? Like, if worse came to worse,
so far it's working.
You know, if we couldn't get Schwellenbach back when we needed him, all this other stuff. Like, if it just
Smith-Shawver, they're talking about he might be coming back this year. We might see him this year.
That would be great. I
would love that.
And I'm not once again, like, these are my boys. I'm not throwing shade at any of y'all. I'm just talking about realistically playoff pitch. Like, what do we do? And honestly, I think what I want to see from Strider is I want to see more pitches in his artillery. Like, what would you do if you were up at bat and all of a sudden Spencer Strider throws you a 12-6 curveball? You'd be like, what the fuck was that? You know, like, that's what I want to see out of him, you know?
He does, though. He does. He's got more stuff than we give him credit for. Like, I know that he's the fireball guy, but, like, he's, you know, I think he's just got to make that transition to relying more on the stuff and not just overpowering. And we kind of talked about that before the season started, because they were saying in spring training that his fastball had lost some velocity. And it has. It totally has. But it still can be a weapon. I think he throws it too much, though. I think we both agree on that.
I was going to say, too, I feel like the more in his head and the more frustrated he gets, the more fastball heavy he gets. You know what I'm saying? He becomes
just trying to, like, plow
his
through
fastball
him, you know?
is his old reliable, you know? He's just like, fuck it, I'm going to get him out. You know, you know?
But these hitters are looking for him, and they've got all the analytics that they need. Like, they know that he's throwing fastballs more than anything, and I think it's by a lot. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but I think it's by a lot. So he needs to throw in that, you know, throw in that slider a lot more, be a little more deceptive with it. Don't rely on the fastball too much. I mean, the fastball is a huge weapon for him, but it can't be, you know, it can't be your main, you know, your main sidearm. You know what I mean?
But hey, before we got too lost there was some things I wanted to touch on with Acuna, and I wanted to sing his praise because we talked about how on May 31st he hit that 438 foot home run. Then on May 30th he recorded a 2-homer game, and then May 29th he hit a home run, and then May 28th started his consecutive game home run streak with a solo shot. Now with this surge he has become just the 4th player in modern MLB history to record 5 home runs and 4 stolen bases over a 4-game window. Now, this is the elite company he joins. The only other people that have been able to do that were Shohei Ohtani, Eric Davis, and Willie Mays. So he is in the conversation with those guys now. So, but when you say that,
all MVPs, by the way, including Ronald.
That's what I was getting to. When you say that, people are automatically starting to put him in the MVP race. Do you think we've because this resurgence, we've seen an amazing emergence from Ronald Acuna, which is great right now. And honestly, this is the ideal breakout moment for Ronald Acuna. But if he continues to play like this, is it true? Like, is this MVP conversation? And is it more MVP conversation than Matt Olson? Because Matt Olson's been the dog this entire season, you know?
Yeah, but Matt Olson's cooled off a little bit, and I've seen him like in that Cincinnati series at the end of that game on Sunday. We had a chance to win. We had runners on, and you know, he let a ball get past him that you could see it on his face. Like, he's like, God, I wish I had that pitch again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he was going to mash it. But, you know, Matt Olson has been very consistent. And I don't know if we've ever said this on the podcast, but I think that he, well, I know for a fact, he is the Ironman MLB active leader with the most consecutive games played. Yep. So good for him. I want to see that continue. I think he's up to like 800 games or something like that. Something crazy.
Doesn't Cal Ripken Jr. hold a record that like just can't be touched though with that?
No, someone beat him.
Oh,
no,
really?
No. Cal Ripken does. I think Lou Gehrig had it for most of our lifetime, and then Cal Ripken got it. I think his is like 1,600 or something.
Yeah, something
wild. Don't quote me on that, podcast people. But yes, you're right. Cal Ripken is the you know, he holds the record by a lot. Probably won't be touched.
Same with Ricky Henderson and stolen bases. Nobody's going to outsteal Ricky Henderson ever. You know?
No, you're just not.
Nobody's going to get more hits than Tony Gwynn ever.
But I do want to talk about one player for the Braves, a guy that was hurt at the beginning of the year that we got back. We were hoping to get a boost from Ha-Seong Kim. He's been bad, man.
Do we say bad? Do we say that? Like, do we comfortably say that?
Yes, he has. Yes, I mean, and Walt Weiss. So look, when we lost that series in Washington a couple weeks ago, that was kind of like around the time that he came back, and we started to feel like, are the Braves kind of coming back down to earth? And then Walt Weiss was just like, you know what? Kim's not ready yet. Let's put Jorge Mateo out there, who has gotten really hot. All of a sudden, we're winning again. What I worry about is Jorge Mateo is probably not going to stay hot like that all season. You spent $20 million on Ha-Seong Kim. You want him to be your starting shortstop.
Absolutely, yeah.
You want him to be your starting shortstop.
Was I not telling you in this offseason that we were giving him too much money? Like, I'm sorry that I'm bringing up bad shit, but it's just like I
bullshit, man.
I didn't think that he deserved that contract to begin with, to be completely honest. And then
I think he was a nice boost when we got him last year. And then this year is kind of just, I don't know if it's the hand injury or it's just being out of like doing baseball, like, and not finding his groove. But he definitely, here's my thing. He's been bad defensively. And for a shortstop, you can't afford that. We could afford for him to be bad at the plate and good on the field.
Exactly.
We can't afford
the nail
both.
in the coffin. Because what were we talking about in the last episode? I can forgive somebody having a cold bat as long as their defense is lights out. But when you have a cold bat and your defense sucks, dude, what are we paying you for? You know.
And you've got two guys that are a lot cheaper that are on the roster now, and Jorge Mateo and Mauricio Dubon, who are going to play that position well. Yeah. Now, I think our biggest advantage is if Ha-Seong Kim is your everyday shortstop, and you still have Mateo and Dubon to kind of be your Swiss Army knife to be all over the field, like anywhere you need them on the diamond. Like they've proven they can do that.
Absolutely.
And they both can hit. I mean, Dubon hit a home run tonight.
I mean, dude, speaking of which, I mean, same scenario, same position. Like, how many times did Dansby Swanson get in a slump with his hitting, where his hitting just wasn't there, but his defense was number one in the league?
Defense, yeah, exactly. His defense is what kept him valuable. So I worry a little bit about that with Ha-Seong Kim. I'm certain that Walt Weiss is going to give him another full shot at it.
I hope
he's going to put him out there for another week straight and see if he starts to get it together. But
yeah. But then what do you do? What do you do with the contract you gave him, and now you have him on the roster? Like, what do you do if he just doesn't get it? You know,
hard to trade him too if he's making $20 million. And
it's going to be impossible to trade him if he's $20 million and he's doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, and I mean, I'm not fully out on him, and again, I think Walt Weiss is also willing to give him another chance because we do need him to come through.
You also got to think of how hard training and rehabbing has been for him, because you can't play baseball without a hand. So how much baseball have you been able to play to get back to this point? Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. So that's what I think. It's like he's a big leaguer and we've seen him play well. I know he's got it in him. So let's hope that he can start to get it together. But let's move on to a strength of this team, man, and something that's been very impressive to me. This bullpen.
Oh, yeah.
This bullpen, one of the best in baseball.
Speaking of this bullpen, tomorrow, which is today for listeners, Thursday, Chris Sale is starting, even though the series is won. Chris Sale's only got a 2 ERA right now, you know?
Yeah.
How incredible is that?
Oh, yeah. No, having Chris Sale out there means you're getting at least 5 to 6 innings. He's probably the only guy that I can really rely on to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But, we've had guys come out there, whether it's Didier Fuentes or if it's Dylan Dodds come up and looked really good since he came up here. Kinsley's looked good. I know he gave up that home run tonight, but, the game was over.
Yeah, and that's baseball, baby. That's baseball.
I mean, and I got to shout out, dude, Dylan Lee.
Yes.
He's been – I didn't think that he was going to be this good. I mean, he's become and every great baseball team has this. They have their 1, 2, 3 horses at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And ours are Dylan Lee and then Robert Suarez and then Raisel Iglesias. And I know Iglesias, in the past, didn't seem like he was going to be the league's best closer, but right now he's the league's best closer.
But now let me ask you this. Are we at a point now where you feel confident enough that this team can keep continuing what they're doing? Like, say Chris Sale gets injured or something like that. Do you think you're confident enough in the starters we have right now to just keep the train rolling?
You got to hope that we keep getting lucky with guys coming back. I mean, who thought that we could survive? I mean, a month ago we were talking about wait till we have Drake Baldwin and Sean Murphy.
Yeah.
Well, now we have none of them. And we're still winning these series.
And also, I guess I should reiterate what I just said, because we've already clinched the series with Toronto, and Chris Sale hasn't pitched yet.
It's a beautiful thing. Now we're finding and Toronto played in the World Series last year, but we are hitting Toronto at a time where it's like they are seeing some injuries right now.
Yeah.
So we're not seeing them at full strength, but it's the major leagues, and we got injuries too.
But it's not.
We don't have our rookie of the year catcher out there.
It's the longest season of any professional sports aside from soccer. Mm-hmm. So you need to be prepared for injuries. I'm sorry, your fault that you weren't ready for this to happen to your team.
I mean, dude, you and I didn't think the Braves were ready.
No,
we didn't think the Braves were ready at all. We thought this was going to be a brutal season.
Not one bit. But it turns out Walt Weiss was more ready than anybody could have imagined. So,
and who was excited about hiring Walt Weiss?
Nobody. Unfortunately, nobody was. And
my God, man, he's the manager of the year.
Yeah,
I mean, go ahead and print the award.
Yeah, look at us now. I am sorry, Walt, for not believing in you, but Jesus. I think
we got to go back to that Goldberg moment.
We never publicly said our disappointment on air, but when we talked about it on air, we were just trying to hype ourselves up and trying to make ourselves okay with it, because we didn't believe in this management move. But I don't believe her now.
No, I wanted to go out and get a big name, and it's like we went and got our bench coach that's been here forever. I didn't think that was the best move that we could come up with, but honestly, it was the best move. It was the best move. Shout out to Alex Anthopoulos for seeing that and hiring the right guy. speaking of Alex Anthopoulos, what's he going to do? We're in June now, and this is when you start looking at what you're going to do trade-wise to kind of bolster your team up a little bit more. Now, I know we have a lot of guys that are supposed to be coming back, but we're going to lose some too. Is there a position out there that you're looking for that maybe he should go after?
What I want to say is not what I should say, so I won't say it.
Nah, you got to say it now.
Third base.
Oh, come on. Come on. Wait till June 13th, all right?
No, I'm just playing. That was a joke. In all honesty, I feel like maybe catcher, maybe.
Go get you someone that's, better than Sean Murphy.
Not necessarily. Yes, better. And it's not that I'm saying Sean Murphy's bad, but it's just like maybe the timing's wrong. Maybe you're just too a little, maybe not careful. I don't know how these injuries happen, but it's a simple fact that Baldwin and Murphy get hurt at the same time. We don't have Jonah Heim anymore. It's like maybe have some insurance there at catcher just because you've kind of like ate it on that one. But
hey, the two guys we got right now, Chadwick Tromp and Sandy Leon, they've done fine.
They have done fine. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's kind of reaching for straws at this moment to see like what do you go after as the Braves organization. Like I guess truly only shortstop, to be completely honest.
I think those guys are already on the team, man. Like if you have to go to Mateo and Dubon, like I'm totally fine with that.
And it's just because nobody's going to eat Kim's contract. Like nobody in their right mind would do that. That's the thing.
It's like, you're not going to DFA a guy who you paid $20 million to. So it's like, he is going to be on the team. And I doubt you can just like package him up and trade him. But I would like to see a right-handed bat outfielder basically to replace what you wanted Profar to do for you.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like we need someone who's going to hit, left-handed pitching. We got a lot of good, like, left-handed hitters right now. And, Austin Riley's not really cutting it from that side of the plate. You do have Ozzie Albies. You do have Ronald Acuna. I'd like to see another one of those. And then I'd also like to see, we talked about this, man, who's that number 2 starter?
Yes.
Let's see him go get that guy,
But who do you even pick from at this point? Like, if you look around the league, like,
not sure, man. Not really sure.
Your point, like, what are we gonna do for the outfield? Are we gonna magically get Mike Trout like everybody's saying we're gonna do?
It's a fun conversation, but yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't think that's gonna
happen. Alex Anthopoulos is too smart with the money.
Yeah.
When it comes to stuff like that, like he's not. Gonna lock himself
can you imagine getting
Mike
Trout and Mike Trout's your DH? Actually, that would be incredible. Like if Mike Trout was your DH on your, like that would be incredible. Like you mean he doesn't have to go risk injury on defense, and his job is just to hit the ball. Cool.
But if you go get someone like Mike Trout, like go ahead and say goodbye to signing Ozzie Albies, and you're gonna have a lot more trouble keeping Ronald Acuna here after 2028.
You absolutely are. Unless this is his swan song, unless he retires next year. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no way.
If he does, we still owe that money. That's the problem. Yeah. Is like, the money with Trout just doesn't make sense for this team. And we don't need it that bad. You know what I mean? Like we're still the best team in baseball. So it's like
we don't need him. And that's why it's so hard for me to think about like, okay, strengthen a bullpen, second starter. Like, yeah, that'd be cool. But like, we're almost at a point like, dude, we are leading our division by 9 games. This is something I never thought I would say at the beginning of this season. And it's like, what is there to fix? Nothing needs to be fixed. Maybe strengthened, maybe give us a little bit more insurance, but nothing needs to be fixed right now,
No, man, like you're still going to get Drake Baldwin back.
Yes.
You're probably going to get Sean Murphy back too, which I mean, I would love to just have 2 strong catchers back, especially Baldwin. We certainly miss him in the lineup right now, but a guy we have not mentioned, man, who's just stayed hot since the start of the season. Got to shout him out. Southside kid. Straight out of Stockbridge, Georgia, Michael Harris.
Mike Harris, dude.
He's been great. So, I mean, as much as we want to talk about like Acuna getting hot, Michael Harris has just been consistently hot, and he's kept his team afloat. He's one of the guys that definitely deserves some credit. This team is very strong, man, very strong. Especially like when you see these guys go down. Like Drake Baldwin was our best player at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
and now we don't have him, and other guys are stepping up. I don't see this team slowing down, but you gotta keep your eye on the Phillies. I know they're 9.5 games back from us, but like since they got Don Mattingly and fired their manager, and now Don Mattingly is taking over, they've been playing really good baseball. So, and we're gonna see them again this year. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be in August. So don't let that lead slip. If you got a 3 to 4 game series with them at the end of the season and they're coming at you with everything they got because that's their chance, you got to be ready. You know,
absolutely.
Let's hope we have a 12 game lead at that point.
I mean, with the way they're playing, like they could have a 12 game.
They're just not losing, man.
They're not.
Walt Weiss is looking at tomorrow. Like he's like, how do I win today and put myself in position to win tomorrow? It's not really thinking too far out. I should say with Drake Baldwin, they're saying that he should be back, or he's eligible to come back, like from his IR stint. And you remember he had an oblique strain. It's like the lowest level oblique strain, but you're talking about a catcher here.
Yeah.
So you got to be very careful with this. I think they said that he could be back by the next homestand, which I guess is probably like 10 days from now or something like that, maybe less. I don't expect to see him though, because you got to baby this injury a little bit.
Yeah, and I feel like you should, especially if you're still putting wins in that column. Like, dude, just let him rest, let him chill.
Let him rest. You want to make sure that he's ready to go. And remember, we were playing him every single day till he got hurt, whether it was DH or he was behind the plate.
That honestly, unfortunately, could have been what did it. You know what I'm saying? If it's a small oblique strain, that's exactly what could have done it.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll see him back soon, and I'm confident that we will. And when he comes back, hopefully he gets right back to where he started. But yeah, man, I think that's all I got to say about the Braves. Best team in baseball, big division lead, different guys stepping up
in baseball, baby.
Hey, man, I wasn't excited about baseball the last 2 years, and because 24 and 25 were just rough for the Braves, but this year has just fully recharged my love for the game.
Absolutely.
So I'm happy they're giving it to us, and let's see how far we can go, man.
So let's kind of segue into the Falcons, which I'm sure you saw.
My Atlanta Falcons?
Yeah, your Atlanta Falcons. Let's talk about what we gave Drake London and how you feel about it. $141 million.
I think it's 144, my friend.
Oh. Okay.
I know it sounds like $3 million is nothing, but no, it's something.
It's a lot to me.
Yeah, me too. Let's split it. Drake London forgot about it. He left $3 million off, and well, hey, me and Joey will split it for
a little
1.5.
Yeah, dude, I got you.
Let me go invest this for you, man. Yeah, man. Well, how do you feel about it? 4-year deal.
I feel like it's great. I feel like Drake has been a very constant with this team. I feel like he's been performing stellar. I feel like we are at a point where, especially with how the past couple of seasons, especially with his career as a Falcon has gone, you got to pay the man to keep him. And I think that's exactly what they did. I'm very okay with this move, and I feel like Drake London is very deserving of it.
Yeah, I agree. So 100 million guaranteed, 144 overall, 4 years. You do the math. I don't know exactly how many that is per year, but
didn't they say he's the fourth highest paid wide receiver now or something like that?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He is. In fact, I do have it on here. I did take a little.
Now, do you think though that's kind of? But my thing is, this gives other teams and other fan bases even better, because this gives other teams and other fan bases the opportunity to talk shit like, oh, you have the third highest paid wide receiver on a losing team. Like, you see where this is going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could. Or everyone's like, hey, he's earning that check. So yeah, so you got here's the top 5 guys in the NFL. You got Jackson Smith and Jigba, $42 million a year.
Okay.
Jamar Chase, $40 million a year. Drake London, $35 million a year. Now that is a big difference if he's making $5 million less a year. Justin Jefferson, $35 million a year.
Whoa, he's getting more than Justin Jefferson, or the same?
I think it's all timing. Well, no, so not the same. So Drake London's actually getting $35.25 million, and Justin Jefferson's getting just $35 million. And then CeeDee Lamb, $34 million. But I think what this has to do with is TV money coming in. Like, I think all the salaries are about to go up. Salary cap's about to go up. So all the teams are going to be spending more money on these guys. With Drake, I feel like he certainly deserves it. He's certainly your number one wide receiver, and I do think that he's one of the best in the league. And if you look at his career, it's like, don't look at the year that he was with Marcus Mariota. Don't look at the year when he was with Desmond Ritter. Don't look at, half of a year he had a good Kirk Cousins and was putting up some serious numbers. And then even last year, it's like, Michael Penix seems like that's the only person that he would throw to, like when he was playing. I really got to see that change. But so, it's hard to look at his stats like over his career. And actually, you should look at it with a little bit of grain of salt to be like, these were with bad quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Imagine if he was playing, with Joe Burrow, like Jamar Chase is, Now Jamar Chase has had to play a lot of games without Joe Burrow, but still. So I think he's earning every bit of it. What do you think about the fact that Drake got his extension before a man named Bijan Robinson?
See, okay, this is actually what I wanted to ask you. Do you think this causes any kind of conflict, or do you think it kind of sets the stage for Bijan to be like, okay, well, they're paying him before me. Do I need to seek other outlets? Because you and I have talked about the possibility of Bijan not staying with the Falcons forever, especially with the way his, the past couple of years have been going. It did kind of light a fire in me where I was like, wait a minute, is Bijan's time coming, or did they just overlook him,
I don't think they overlooked him. I think it's more about you drafted London, I guess a year before you drafted Bijan. So it's like contract timing wise, you don't really have to pay Bijan yet. So, I mean,
even though you don't have to, do you think you should?
It would make me feel all warm and fuzzy if we knew he was going to be here for the next 6
and that's where my heart's at right now.
Yeah,
it's like I want to know that we still got Bijan.
But you're going to have to give him Saquon money, or probably better.
He deserves it.
I agree.
He absolutely deserves it. But the thing is, like, is the front office going to think he deserves it? And can we match what Kansas City's going to pay him? Can we match, what the Bengals are going to pay him?
The Eagles or whatever.
The Eagles, like, can we match that?
But yeah. I mean,
Dallas,
I think so.
Watch him end up at the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying?
And you did bring up, like the way these last couple seasons have gone since he's been here, but like, I think Arthur Blank has shown Bijan, like, that's not okay. He fired everybody except for Jeff Ulbrich, if you remember. Wasn't that long ago. And now you got Matt Ryan there, who I feel like, so far has shown to be the adult in the room and the real football guy.
I like the way you put that. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it really is. I mean, because I felt like,
and I do feel like Matt Ryan would
there were
definitely
no adults
advocate.
in charge when Raheem
Matt
was
Ryan
here.
would definitely advocate for Bijan Robinson. But it's just like, are we going to be too little too late by the time we pay him? You know what I'm saying? Because like there's people that are going to go after him with everything. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think we're going to lock him up before his contract ends. And we still got a couple of years. And since he's on a rookie contract, like, you do have like that team option. What I think is kind of interesting is that you put the franchise tag on Pitts this year. Are you going to be in a spot where you want to give Bijan the extension? And let's say Pitts has an amazing year next year, and it's like, but you also want to keep him too. Like, that could get a little tight.
But in all honesty, that's kind of, as weird as it sounds to say, that's kind of the best case scenario. You know what I'm saying? That's a good problem to have, and I hope it does work out that way. I hope that Pitts is the greatest tight end in football this year. And I also hope that Bijan is the best running back in football this year, And
he will
are you saying that it comes to a point where you got to decide, like, you have to figure out the salary cap with who you're going to pay what?
Yeah, or it might be like, hey, we'd like to keep both of you guys. You go to Pitts and you go, hey man, you had a great year. We really want you to remain a Falcon. But I want you to keep in mind that we have to re-sign, or we have to extend Bijan. And we're just looking down the road, like, what do we do? Like, are you willing to accept this? Then the ball's kind of in Kyle Pitts' court to go and say, like, well, if I take a pay cut, like, what's in it for me? Like, why would I take a pay cut if I had this amazing season and now the 49ers are offering me this kind of money? I don't think it'd be the 49ers because I think they're kind of in salary cap hell right now.
Mm-hmm. And they still got Kittle.
Yeah. So I'm just throwing a team out there. Hey, I want to go to the Panthers.
But I'm saying Good luck. Best. I would rather the ball be in Bijan's court than be in Pitt's court, to be completely honest, because we've already talked about life without Pitts on this podcast before.
Yeah, and I think that, like, undoubtedly, like, the Falcons are going to put Bijan before Kyle Pitts. Like, if it ever came down to it and Kyle Pitts says, nah, I want this kind of money, and they go, okay, well, we got to pick one, everybody knows who they're going to pick.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who they're going to pick. So let's talk about old James Pierce Jr.
Okay, so you have some news on him that I don't, because you were telling me that you wanted to bring him up at the top of the show before we started recording.
And we did not talk about him last week?
No, we did, but
My memory's a little fuzzy.
We did, but I haven't heard any new news. Like, so he is an active Atlanta Falcon at the moment, correct?
He is. And so they're dropping all charges as long as he goes through it went from a 6-month program to a 1-year program.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So as long as he gets through that program and he stays away from Rickea Jackson for a year, she also decided not to file a formal restraining order on him. And so, she agreed to this program. And I mean, all charges dropped.
Mm-hmm.
What that tells me is we've talked about.
He's got a great lawyer.
And he's got money, and that certainly helps. Okay, and he didn't actually, on record, physically assault anybody. I think the assault on the police officer thing was just kind of resisting arrest, and I think that any good lawyer could probably just get it down to that, which is also not good. But and I'm not condoning anything that happened with his situation at all, but we were talking about the incoming suspension or the inevitable suspension. Well, the way that this usually works in the NFL is that the NFL waits until the case is settled in court before they come down with a suspension. Well, this guarantees that this case, doesn't guarantee, because he could mess up and they bring all the charges back. If he messes up, they bring all the charges back. And he's back to facing what we looked up and saw was potentially 12 years in prison, right? So if they bring all that up, then yes, it's over. And then it doesn't matter what the suspension is, because you're just going to miss your NFL career because you're in prison. But if he gets through this whole year thing, they won't drop a suspension until he has finished his 1-year program, which will then settle the case.
So his suspension
usually that's what the NFL does.
The 2027 season,
right?
Oh God,
that's what I think is going to happen. I think he's coming to camp.
Okay.
And I think he's going to start I think he's going to start the season.
I mean, as a football fan, as a Falcons fan, that's not a bad thing,
Listen, you got to remember, the victim in this case, Rickea Jackson, agreed to this.
Mm-hmm.
So I think everybody's cooled down. We can all look at it. She, clearly doesn't want his life to go in the tank. I also think that they've got to stay away from each other.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
They've got to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know James Pierce looks like a crazy person, and maybe he is a crazy person, but I do also believe that, like, toxic relationships, like, some people just cannot be together.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he's had problems like this in the past with other girlfriends. You also got to believe Matt Ryan has probably put together a team of, like, almost like a Secret Service team to be around him 24/7 to make sure he doesn't get in any trouble.
Phone, everything.
Yeah, and being bodyguards, and just like anything pops up, they just grab him, throw him in the car.
Yeah,
we're leaving.
Yeah,
you have to. It's worth the money. So if you can keep him out of trouble.
Some Falcons adjacent news I saw today. Younghoe Koo has been released by the New York Jets. So this leads to. We're at the end of the show. This leads to our true or false segment, which I would like to do with you, Jeremy. True or false? Younghoe Koo's NFL career is over.
I'm going to say false, because the Saints could really use him. Don't you think?
I would love that.
Man.
Hey, Saints, if you're listening, go out and grab this guy, Younghoe Koo. He's incredible. Look what he did for Atlanta, dude.
Now, as far as his career being over, like, is he going to be invited to training camp with a team or something like that? I think he will be.
I don't
Is
think
he
so.
going to actually score points in the NFL again?
No.
I'm going to say no, he's not. No. Yeah, I'm going to say, so what? The answer to that is true? True, it's over?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so true or false? When it's all said and done, maybe within the next 5 years, Drake London is going to be held in the same regard that Falcons fans hold Julio and Roddy White.
I think to be in the Julio conversation, and I know Julio didn't do this, but I'll bring it down a little bit.
I think he needs a better quarterback to be in the Julio conversation.
He does. And I think you're going to get one. Something's got to go right for this quarterback room, man. Whether it's Tua or it's Penix, finally taking that next step. I'm going to say when it's all said and done for Drake London, yeah, you'd put him up there with Roddy White at least.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is he going to be the best wide receiver in franchise history like Julio Jones is right now? No, because I haven't really seen any other wide receivers since Julio Jones that can do that on any team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. But we also haven't seen Julio Jones do it on any other team. So
no. But Julio Jones was the best wide receiver in the game when he played, and I have not seen a guy that good. I know Justin Jefferson's really good. I know Jamar Chase is really good. I know Antonio Brown. Everyone's talking about Antonio Brown for years.
People don't understand how untouchable Atlanta Falcons Julio Jones was. Like, you just don't get it unless you saw it. He truly was the best
players of all time.
Yeah, of all time. All time.
So, yes, I would say we'll put him up there with Roddy, but I'm not sure that we can put him up there with Julio unless he gets a ring.
Yeah.
Then, yes, you put him up there.
Or have a fucking 350-yard game, Do that.
We haven't seen that yet. Yeah, exactly. We've seen multiple touchdowns from him. We've seen him get a hat trick, but we haven't seen him be that dominant. Now, again, Julio had a good quarterback. He had an MVP quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
hard to say on the Julio thing, but the Roddy thing, I will say.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, I've honestly run out of true or falses, to be completely honest. Those are just two questions I really wanted to ask you.
Do I have one for you? True or false?
Okay.
Michael Penix starts 3 games with the Falcons this season.
3 games, like consecutively?
Mm-hmm. Yep. At least 3.
Oh, man.
Consecutive. Yes, consecutive.
My problem is it goes back to what I said last week is like, I know that there's just something about him that Atlanta fans just love and adore, and I get it. Trust me, I get it. I understand why you would like Michael Penix. I just don't. I see Tua being the starter start to finish barring injury, like straight up. I just do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say false. Like I say false. I say they're not playing Michael Penix unless they absolutely have to. Like, unless Tua gets injured or if Tua is just completely underperforming, I don't think Penix is in their deck of cards. Like, I don't think they're preparing for Penix to play this season. I don't.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with you because it seems like Stefanski and the staff are kind of dropping hints like to us that Tua is going to be the starter.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying things like how important accuracy is for a quarterback in the system. Accuracy is the number one most important thing, and Tua is the more accurate passer.
Mm-hmm.
Penix has a better arm,
yeah,
but he's not the more accurate passer. He doesn't read the field the same way. We've talked about how Penix, likes to throw outside the numbers. I'm not going to bring up the whole under center thing because apparently that's not true. I'll believe it when I see it, but if they're looking for that and they're looking at Tua as like the veteran guy who's a more accurate passer, then I see him starting week 1. Mm-hmm. I think the team's probably already knows that they're doing that. I think the players probably already know that they're doing that. Let's see where it goes, man. I mean, who knows? Tua could be the next Sam Darnold, where he goes to a new place and all of a sudden he's, tearing up the league.
Yeah. I don't know. But I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I just want something good to happen. this season.
I do too,
is
man.
really where I'm at.
Do too.
I just want something good to happen, especially after last season. I just want something good to happen with the Atlanta Falcons, but we'll see.
I do too. Oh, and one more thing, Zachariah Branch. Remember we were talking about his silly
absolutely.
case that got dropped. Yeah,
nice.
That got dropped. Yeah,
good. Yep. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yep.
But other than that, man, unless you got anything else, I guess it's time to wrap this show up, dude.
Let's wrap it up.
All right. Well, you know where to find us because you're listening to us, but you can find us on YouTube all the time, Instagram, X. You'll be directly talking to Jeremy on X. You can check out Jeremy's band Sunmancer. You can come back, and we promise you we will get more content out to you as readily as available as we can. We love that you guys are listening to us. Be safe out there. Have a good evening.
All right. A-Town down, baby.